I am once cards.byrachel for the STEM Stop and the Sassy Club. We will be using the new ATC die from the Sassy Club, Beauty Sleep, Fairies, Ever After, and Lasagne, and we'll also add Precious to Me later. I will make sure to link all the products below. You can see I used the biggest piece of the die, the scallop one, and the layering piece that will fit inside your scalloped piece. And we are just gonna attach that with some glue. I will start with a non-shaker ATC and we'll do 5 different types of shakers. That's the fun part about this Sassy Club ATC die. There are so many ways you can turn them into shakers. So I definitely want to do a tutorial for that so you can see the potential of this die and multiple ways it can be used. Here you can see me using that new fairy tale stamps from the Sassy Club, which are absolutely adorable. I did do my coloring off camera. Apart from our last one, Precious to Me, we will color that one together just to save some time because it's already, I think, I haven't looked at the time actually, but I think it will be quite a long video because we will be making 5 shaker ATCs. So here's our first one. Then for our first shaker, we will be needing 2 of the biggest pieces. And then in one of those pieces, you will use the biggest heart in this case. Here you can see our new acetate sheets that fit an ATC perfectly. They come with 2 protective layers, one on the front, one on the back to keep it scratch free. We have those available in the web shop. At the moment of recording these, they are sold out, but I think once this goes live, they will be back in stock. I'll be sure to link those down below as well. Here I attach some double-sided adhesive around my ATC that will be our frame where we cut that big heart out. Of course, you could also use the smaller heart, and that is for all the pieces we'll be using to create our shakers, just to you. Here I peeled off the protective layer on one side, and then I cannot line things up, as you guys know by now. So when that happens, just use your scissors and cut a little bit around it, and it all fits. At the moment of recording this, I only had 2 of these left because, like I said, they are sold out. So I had enough to show you one of those ATC sized acetate sheets we offer now. Here I'm gonna stamp my sentiments, sending fairy dust into my little heart there. And I'm gonna attach our foam strips. These are the Studio Light foam strips, which make shaker cards and shaker ATCs very easy to make. We have those in the shop as well. I'll be sure to link those as well. I also made a separate ATC section on the web shop where you can find shakers, these foam tapes, the acetate sheets, the acetate die, everything you would need to create your ATCs and ATC shakers. So you have everything in one place. Be sure to don't leave any gaps between your foam strips because we don't want our glitter falling out. And I use some anti-static powder around the edges to get rid of the last bit of stickiness. Now I'm removing that second protective layer of your heart. So when you get those acetate sheets in, they will look cloudy. That just has to do with the 2 protective layers. Once you remove them, they will be very clear. I'm carefully removing the backing paper from our foam strips and adding a little bit of glue. I always like to do double adhesive when making shakers or interactives. Gives you a little bit of wiggle room. At the end of the video I forget it and it's not coming on straight, as you always will have when you forget it. But anyway, here you can see our cute little shaker ATCs. Of course, I want to add some of the cute new stamps as well. We'll do 3 in this theme, 2 shakers and 1 the first one we did. So yeah, I think it's very cute. I'm just gonna add all 3 of the fairies here. I thought it would be so cute with that little heart and the sentiment. Of course, these are just examples of especially how to use the dies to turn them into shakers, but you can use these with any theme or any brand you would like. It's just very nice and easy to make them into shakers. Here we've used 2 times of that biggest piece and the smallest speech bubble die. And I added some clouds and stuff, as you can see. And the steps will be the same. So adding my double-sided tape, because I don't have that ATC sized acetate anymore, I'm just going to use normal acetate and cut around the edges. I wish I would still had them for this video because they are way more easy and scratch free, but you know, this works as well. And here I'm also gonna do a sentiment once upon, but it will not fit in that bubble together or next to each other, I should say. So what I'm gonna do, I think I swifted, yeah, I'm gonna cover up the upon with a little bit of tape. So I only ink up the once, there we go. And then we need to clean that up pretty good. I'm using our Ranger water-based cleaner for that. And then I'm gonna do the same, but just cover up the once and only ink up the upon. But I forgot to move it, so I'm gonna do it again. Now it's in the right spot. Cover up that once and then only ink up the upon. Be sure to remove your tape before you stamp it onto your card, because you know that will get transferred either way. So be sure to remove that before you stamp it down. Here we will use the foam strips again and get those backings off as always. I do cut out a little bit of the double-sided tape and the foam strips because it will be the same on every shaker ATC. So showed it fully on the first one and we're just gonna cut into it more and more the further we get along, you know, because it will be very repetitive otherwise, I feel. Look at that. I did make the shaker window smaller by adding the foam, the closed off foam strips more around it. You could also, if you want to have bigger area to put your shakers in, you could just do the edges. But I feel like this way you need less of the glitter or sequins you're going to use because the window is smaller. And with the window, I mean where you put foam strips. Here we're using this fandom again, like I said, this time the green and the blue fairy and a grassy border. And then once upon, and then those cute fairies next to it. How cute. So we made a normal one and these two shakers with this fandom, with the heart and the speech bubbles. Then over here, you can see me making this shaker window smaller as well, because I want to save on my glitters. Again, anti-static powder. And of course, we'll use the biggest one again 2 times and that ribbed edge, the smallest one, I believe. And I'm using the Lasagne stamp set here because I thought this red little cat would be so fun to add the lasagna like in there. So I didn't put my acetate on my front panel yet, so I could easily attach that lasagna through it at exactly the spot where I would want it. I'm making sure it's really stuck down. Also the edges, because we will be adding the glitter, of course, and you don't want them getting stuck to your stamped image. And now just the cat on the bottom here, and he will be overhanging a bit, so we'll just cut that off. Then it is time to attach that front panel to our acetate. So I'm not really in frame, but I'm doing the same. Just cutting it to the right size and attaching it. And then it's time to peel off all those foam strips again and fill our ATC with our glitter and then attach our front panel. Like I said, this is basically the same for all of them. Well, except the last one. Because it will be a see-through one, you guys. I really like that. And the only downside with see-through ones is that you would have to add like a little post-it or something like that, a sticky note to write your message, because there will not be any space for that. But I don't mind that personally. I'll usually just attach like a post-it note to it. Here we are lining this up, which didn't really want to work with me, but I managed. There we go. And then we have that ribbed edge shaker. How cute. You could do it like this or in the middle, whatever you want. Here we're using 2 of these frame pieces. Or no, just one, sorry. The 2 will be for the see-through. And 2 of those biggest pieces I have cut. Just added like a starry sky behind it. And here we have that frame. Again, foam tape on your base. Filling it up with our glitter, and then of course remove it and attach your front panel with your acetate, and that will basically be it. For this one I'm using the Ever After stamp set from the Sassy Club. This was one of my favorite fairy tales. Every time I was sick as a kid, I wanted to watch this one. So I've watched it, I don't even know, countless times, you guys, countless. But I'm really happy with these stamps, though. They are one of my favorites. So I really felt like pulling out some of my favorites, which is definitely this one, this Phantom, and the last one, the Precious to me. Here you can see I did the villain this time. I had not used it on my previous card I made with this Phantom, so I felt like using her now. I'm just using the glass slipper and her next to it. And then you have this like bigger sized frame to put your shaker, so more shaker visible basically. Well, there we go. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different ones, and this will be the last one. Here you can see it already. I made a yellow one off camera. I cut 2 times the frames, attached acetate, do both of them, and on one of them are foam strips. So acetate on both of your frames, and one frame also adds the foam. And then we'll peel that off, of course, and you can see me spill it here. I just leave it in. You guys know me, the mistakes. It's not really a mistake. This can happen anytime, but it was quite an easy cleanup. And then we're just gonna put that other frame on top. And you have a see-through shaker. So this is quite easy. Of course, now we have a yellow and a red frame. And I didn't line it up properly, I feel. There we go. Now we did. And of course, now it is time to add our images. I thought I'd show one of the coloring because I know some of you guys like it. I'm using my Ohu markers this time. I'm using the RG080, the RG050, and the RG030 for our cute little elephant here. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of shading. When the image is quite big, I do like to work in sections. I do that to make sure that my ink stays wet, so it's easily blendable, because of course once your ink is dried it can make it more difficult to blend. So that is why I always divide some bigger images up in sections. And you should be able to see the numbers on the caps for the other colors I'm gonna use as well. And I am gonna add some pink later, as you can see, to his ears and his little feet there, because I think that always looks cute. And then blend it out with that RG030 again. And here you can see I actually did his little, what's it called in English? I don't know, his nose. It's not a nose, but yeah, it's not coming to me, but you guys know what I mean, his nose, even though it's not a nose. But and the rest of his face, to make sure my marker stays nice and wet, so it's easily blendable. Here I'm pulling in that R29. I'm just gonna add it along his ears and a little bit on his feet and his cheek. Oh yeah, and here you can see me blending it out with that RG030 again, because I didn't want it to be overly pink, just like a little bit. So there we go. And it's time to color in his cute little feather that he's holding. I believe I'm using the CG5 for that. Yeah, just one, because it's a small area. And then we'll do our 180 with our R3 for his little collar, or what's it? No, it's not a collar. With his little necklace thingy. And his hat. And then we'll use Y2 for all the yellow. And of course, my beloved highlights. White highlights need to be added. I got questions where I add them. Well, there's no logic to it. I just do it where I think it looks good. So maybe not much help, but that is how I do it, basically. Here you can see I used the little mice from the stamp on the yellow one. And now it's time to add a cute little elephant on our red frame. These are so cute. I love it. The backside will not be as pretty, of course, with the see-through ones. But then again, you showcase them at the front. You see some pictures on a little video of all the ATCs we made today. I hope this inspires you to get cracking on making shaker ATCs with the new ATC die from the Sassy Club. Be sure to also follow us on Instagram, cards.byrachel and the Stamp Stop to check out all our posts. If you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe and comment, as it really helps the algorithm. Thank you all for watching and have a crafty day. Bye!